أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's part of the course which is going on the basic level, and we are into today going to talk about the content of Dawah. What I mean here is when we go out to deliver Dawah, what should be there and what shouldn't be there. That's what inshallah we are going to talk about it. Bi-iznillah. And just I want to say something. The all goodness is from Allah, and all the mistakes which is going to happen in today's session it's from me and shaitan. And Dawah training is really, I'm going to share the experience, it's not more than that. I'm not a teacher, and it's going to be an interactive session. If at all, if you want to ask me a question, just stop me anytime you want me to, and if I'm going too fast, please let me know. And we should all ask Allah for guidance and forgiveness and thank Him that He has chosen us to do this job. Alhamdulillah. When introducing myself, I'm presenting this Dawah training today. This is not to show off, astaghfirullah, again, it is just sharing what I have learned. And what are we going to talk about today? It's very simple. Why Dawah training is necessary. And please welcome. Basic tips to Da'i, also 7 essentials, and Dawah flow chart, and Dawah psychology, methodology of prophets when it comes to Dawah, the way they were doing Dawah, and our invitation, what should be. Then there is some vital knowledge I'm going to touch upon, but you will get lot of knowledge from the book which you will receive soon after the presentation, inshallah. And if there is any question and answer, you got to ask me. If I can answer, I will answer, otherwise I'll let you know the next week. Let's see. Why is Dawah training necessary? I will not tell you why it is necessary, but rather I'm going to ask you a question. What is Islam? I'm sure you all know the meaning of it, but still I'm asking you. As I said, it's an interactive session. I'm not going to only speak here. You are going to be the future speakers and the trainers.
Worshipping gods to start with.
Worshipping
God,
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anybody else wants to? I'll take you later, please. Way of life, jazakallah. Submission to Allah. Worshipping Allah.
Islam is the way.
Islam is the way. How about you, sister? Want to say something?
Way of living as per
Way of living as per the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not going to ask you this question. Assalamu alaikum. Let me ask you another question. What is water? H2O, all right? And essence of life. If I ask this kid, what is water? What do you think? It's the thirst quenching stuff for him now. Because look at him, the way he's drinking out as if he's so thirsty. For him, water is just the thirst quenching stuff for him. And the same thing, if I ask these people, they have a different definition of water. Right? And the same question, if I ask a businessman, he has a different definition. And if I ask the same question to a chemist, it's H2O. The whole purpose of telling you this is because the definition of Islam is not something which we say it's a standard. It's not standard. It is on every step of our life we can answer that question. So now, considering the previous scenario, now if I ask you to define, probably we had lot of definitions already. Yeah? But what I wanted to emphasize here is, when we talk about Islam, the answer should be suitable to the listener. Do you agree with me? What I mean here is, if a person is a drug addict, or a person is alcoholic, what do you think if you go and talk to a person of that kind and tell him, dear, you got to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He's already injecting the drugs into him or taking alcohol. What is the first and the foremost thing needed for him to be understood? How will you influence him to stop what he's doing is wrong?
You're trying to enter some of the health stuff that's not good for your health.
Exactly. That's the social welfare. You begin the talk with the social welfare. The moment you talk to him and show him that you care about him, then he will listen to you. Because belief is not something which is a materialistic. People are not going to listen to you because you are right and they are wrong. They are doing it for the centuries, and they might do it for centuries unless or until they really understood what the belief is. And to believe you, to change their belief, they got to have a faith in you. If they don't have a faith in you, probably he might not listen to you. So, the point here, what I wanted to emphasize here is, the answer should be suitable to the listener. Sometimes a very layman comes and asks you a question about Islam. And when you started reading out the verses of the Quran, reading out the shaloka from their Hindu scriptures and the verses from the Bible, what do you think he's going to think of? We have a beautiful hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A Badu came, a person from the village came and asked, "O Rasulullah, tell me what I should do to enter into Jannah." He said, "Believe in one God." He said, "Then perform 5 prayers." Said, "Then what?" "Then what?" "Fasting in the month of Ramadan." "Then what?" "Charity, zakat." "Then what?" "Hajj, if you have the ability." He said, "Wallahi, I will only do this much." And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "If he is telling the truth, see, he is the person from the paradise going." You got to understand whom you are going to talk to. Then only accordingly we should address the question what is being asked. Let me give you one small reference here. If you have seen, I'm sure every one of you have seen Dr. Zakir Naik's lecture. He usually tells that state your name, your profession and your background. Why do he ask 3 things?
To understand that.
Understand? To understand the person's faith with reference to the name. The profession tells us at what level he should be answering him back, and what background tells us where he is coming from. Accordingly, he can answer them. So that's the reason. So then when he delivers the answer, he says, "I hope I answered the question." And they said yes, and they walk away. The same way, like if you ask a chemist about the water, as the brother said, H2O. Fine, for a chemist it is H2O, it is nothing more than that. Probably he is using for rest of all what the purpose what we are using, but still for a chemist water is just H2O. So that's the reason we need to go through the trainings, and trainings will provide you the insight of the information and you will get to know more about it. I'm going to give you some basic tips. Most of the time, Dai finds it difficult, the timing is critical, decide how far you can go by their reaction. When you go out to the people and people, either you are busy, somebody calls you and asks you, which rarely happens. When you go out to somebody, they are busy. Either they are busy in calling their homes, probably cooking, washing, whatever it is, but they are busy. Presume them they are busy. Now you as a Dai have to take a stand. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Think at what level of information and how much information you are going to give them. That time if you go and ask a person, hold him up and say, I'm going to talk to you and tell you all about Islam, all about Sharia, all about Sunnah. Will he listen? Even if he listens, is he going to have something remain in his brain? No. So that's a reason. You got to understand the timing and how far you can go to. We are all like a shepherds catching the ships. So we got to be careful while catching them. Don't hit them. And the escape route are their arguments. They just try to put you into the arguments, and they just try to deviate you from what you are trying to tell them. Is the moment you talk about Islam, they say, what are you telling us? You're talking about the Islam. Islam is, all Muslims are terrorists. See, whole world is in chaos because of Muslims. See what happened in France, what is happening in Brazil, what is happening in Syria, Lebanon, Afghanistan, the list goes on and on and on. And everything, unfortunately, is tagged to Muslims and Islam. That's the problem. And don't get deviated from there. Keep the argument what you want to deliver that subject and tell them, I'll come back to your question, first let me finish this. Very politely. Don't ignore the person's question. How many of you know about the ground bait? How many of you go for fishing? Fishing. What do you do when you go for the fishing? You are raising your hand or keeping it down?
We raise it way.
No, you're just raising up and down. So I'm
I'm trying to show you that's what we do in fishing. We raise our hands and then.
No, but this way, not this way. Fine. What do you do when you go for fishing, brother? Take a hook and throw it. And if you want to catch more fishes,
Call the fish.
come on, fishes, I'm here. That's the reason you have extra weight. Because every time you call, probably the big fishes are coming to say, I surrender. Well, there is something which is called a ground bait. What happens is, when you go for fishing, usually, if you see the Arabs, they bring this caboose, caboose. The left out caboose, what they do, they just keep it and dry them. The reason why they dry is, when they go out for fishing, it's a hobby, like they want to just feed the poor fishes, but some people, they don't have that habit. They pour that powder, the small pieces of the bread on the water surface. The moment fishes sees them and they try to come up. And when they are coming up, when they become a big crowd of fish, they become like meters of diameter, and then you throw the hook. You get easily at least one fish. And once you get a small fish, what they do, they cut the small fish, take the flesh of the small fish and attach to the hooks. And hook looks like the different color of fishes. Small fishes, because that's the baby. Usually the big fishes, they eat away. So these are attached with what? With the flesh of the fish, and then you throw them in. But to do that, what they do is, if they want to catch a big fish, usually they prepare themselves. They prepare in what way? They either get out in the middle of the sea, deeper area, go with the big fishing rod and a yacht, and then carry those flesh of the fish along with those hooks, different color hooks, and then what they get out of it is this. As a da'i, don't rush. Don't just throw the hook thinking someone will come and eat. If I'm lucky, I will get one. No. You are da'is. You need to prepare yourself with something which are attractive. Attract with your personality first, then with your words, with your behavior and caring culture. How do you look at those people? Then people get attracted to you. What is the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He has demonstrated how he cared the people. We all know the story of that old lady who used to throw the thrones on his way. Yeah? What he did? When he didn't find the thrones on the way back from the masjid, he started inquiring, what's the matter today? Why there are no garbage and no throne on this street? When he got the information, he went out and knocked the door. The lady asked, who are you? He said, I'm Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That made that lady to accept Islam. And you know another story of that old lady when after the victory of Makkah, when Prophet Muhammad with his all companion coming back from Medina to Makkah, the people of Makkah made it so bad rumors like what is happening today about Islam, that Muslims are terrorists, they are very bad people, they are blood loving and kind of thing. So the old lady packed up her baggage and she was going out. I hope you know that story. And what happened? He picked up the baggage, he went out of the territory of Makkah, and then finally when the old lady asked, who are you? At least tell me your name. Because he refused to take any money from her for the service which he provided to her. Then when he said, I am Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then the lady said, if you are like this, if your characters are like this, then I want to embrace Islam. That's the examples we have. We just can't be going and thinking the guys are these dirty people, you know. No. I'll just share a small story. What happened is we just went another camp last week. I met one person, mashallah, he praying 5 times, mashallah, very practicing Muslim. When I talked to him, I said to him, why don't you, brother, talk to these people and convey the message of Allah? He said, these people are dirty people. Every night they drink tonic. You know tonic? Every night they drink tonic. These dirty people, I don't even want to talk to them. I said to him, brother, they are still the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can you ignore that? They are the abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were also created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can you ignore that? How can you let them go to Jahannam, to the hell, and you are preparing for the heavens? What? On the day of judgment, if the same person comes and asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah is going to be just on that day. Every time He is just, but He is going to do the complete justice on that particular day. And if he goes and complains to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and says, this man was practicing Muslim, but he never invited me to Islam, what do you think is going to happen? We got to have a different approach. And the approach should be, from the beginning, build up the base, build up the character, build up the caring character. Then when you talk to the people, people will listen to you. Is there any question on that so far? Now, I'm going to tell you the 7 essentials of Dawah flowchart. This is required because when we go out to do Dawah, we should not make errors. So, the 7 essentials are, I'm going to let you read from here. Number 1, be focused. As I said, when you go out and talk to the people, people are going to think that they just want to confuse you. They just want to distract you what you are talking. They don't want to listen to you either because of their ego or because they have the strong false belief within them. They just want to put you in an argument. How long do you think you can stay there? An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, then finally you will go. That's the whole trick. And I had some of my friends, when I shared the topic, and they just put me into the same embarrassing situation, and wherein what I usually happen is I flee away with the arguments rather talking about the subject. That's the reason you got to focus. Your focus should be to deliver the message of Dawah. Arguments, the questions, keep them aside. Tell them, first listen to me, let me complete this, I will talk to you. I'll definitely clarify your doubts. When he listens to you completely, probably by the end of your talk, all his misconceptions, all the questions which he had, probably they are just suppressed or they are gone. He will not have any more questions to ask you. The moment you are focused, at the same time you got to be gentle when talking to the people, because here you are not going to offer them any materialistic thing in return of their change of belief. See, this is something which is very important. Being gentle, being humble, being polite. This is what can make you win or make you lose. Because he said something, I am going to raise my voice over him. Usually this happens. And never do that. Just remember, you remember the incident what happens in once Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu was in the battle, and he was fighting a battle. He had a kuffar with him. When he got down, he raised his sword to cut his neck. The moment he raised the sword, the kuffar said, this is the least what I could do. He spat on his face. Spit on the face of Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. He held his sword there. He left him and he said, you go now. He said, what happened? I insulted you and you are letting me go? He said, so far the fight was for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I kill you, the fight is between you and me. To take the revenge, I'm going to kill you. So he just let it go. So such situation comes. One of my friend was going to Umrah, and there was brother sitting next to him, and that brother is of a kind where he goes to the qubur and make dua from the qubur, and he offers the sacrifices to the qubur. When this brother was trying to explain him, look brother, this is not right in Islam, this is wrong in Islam. In Islam, Allah, you have to only worship, all the sacrifices should be for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no one else. Then you know what he did? He slapped him on his face. And if I tell you the name, you all know him. I'm not going to tell the name, because let his hasanat grow bigger. So mashallah, he took that slap and he just kept quiet. And when he came back after 2 years, alhamdulillah, he realized what he was doing was wrong. We never know. We never know. We get a lot of incidents in our day-to-day life, from the life of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we got to have all these three qualities, which is gentle, humble and polite, and follow the path of your delivery, what you should be delivering. And many times when you are talking to a person, either you receive the WhatsApp messages or email notifications or the calls or some friends calling you. If not you, of course the one to whom you are talking will have the same kind of distractions. Just tell him, brother, I've come for you. Can I talk to you for some time? Can you please put your phone on silent? Give me your attention for some time. I really want to talk to you. Imagine, when you do that, you are ignoring all kind of distractions, and show the passionate. You are passionate of doing it. The reason why you are coming is you have a passion. You are very passionate about doing what you are doing. If you do that, then inshallah, if you follow these 7 steps, you will definitely be successful. Bi-iznillahi ta'ala. Inshallah. What is the word here? Focus is in the center. What about the rest? That means you guys are focusing nicely. That's nice. There is something which you also need to understand, the Dawah psychology. What I mean by Dawah psychology is, there are some aspects which I am going to talk to you about, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, brother, will you read the verses? Recite the verses? No. Anybody?
Brother can.
Brother?
You can even close the slides because he's
MashaAllah. Fine, I'll just move this way. Please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أرسلنا من رسول إلا بلسان قومه ليبين لهم فيضل الله من يشاء ويهدي من يشاء وهو العزيز الحكيم.
Jazakallah khair. Barakallahu feek. The reason why I asked brother to read is just I wanted to mention one word from this verse, but because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when a assembly of the people wherein the verses are being recited and the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happening, the malaika covers it. I want this majlis to be covered with malaika, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, brother. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says is, Allah sent the messengers to the people for every nation in their own language. In their own language. Remember, when you go out for doing a dawah, if you are talking to a person, the person, he don't speak the language which you speak, take a friend of yours, a da'i with you, who can speak the same language what the person to whom you are going and talking to. What happens is that gives a lot of emphasis on the message which you are going to deliver to the people. And especially, they say, when you talk to a person, the language he understands, it goes to his mind. When you talk to a person, the language which is his mother tongue language, it goes to the heart. And it has a very big effect, because I have witnessed myself. We had 2 brothers from India, from Andhra Pradesh, and we went out to the camps and we delivered the message in Telugu language. And mashallah, in a group, there were shahada, about 35-40 people accepted, delivered the shahada, just because they were able to follow every word which the speaker was talking to them. And the same, you might have heard about the brother who came from Tamil Nadu recently, and he did the same thing, mashallah. But it wasn't that scale, but still it was a very good result. So that's what happens, because this is the hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that bilisani qawmihi, in their own language, the language of the people. That's the one basic thing you got to remember. And also, when we talk to the people, analyze what is their age, what is their educational background, what is their class standard. Accordingly, you can talk to the people. Like I said, gave you an example of how Dr. Zakir Naik does and all those things. So analyze those areas and establish your credential. This is very important. When you build your credential, people will trust you. They will think you are the person who cares them. You are a caring personality. If not, if I do whatever I want to, and if I go out and talk to the people and say, Bhaiya, come for Islam, become a Muslim. You yourself is not following Islam, why are you telling me? And this is happening in many of the labor camps and many of the Muslims. Unfortunately, this is happening. We went to one camp and the brother said, we need a sheikh in Bangla language. I said, why? Because we have more than 100 Bangladesh brothers here. They don't come for Salah. They are only Muslims in Ramadan. And the whole week, the whole year, the balance 11 months, they said some of them drink the tonic. So, this is the problem. And when non-Muslims look at those brothers and what they think, this is Islam. What is the difference between us and them? You see? So that's the reason you need to have your credential established. Like I gave an example of one of the brother, he was a practicing Muslim, but he hates them because just they drink alcohol. Because they do different kind of activities. No. You hate someone, you love someone for the sake of Allah. And those are the people are going to be under the shade of the Allah's arsh on the day of judgment. Use their name frequently. When you are talking to a person, talk to him. When you say you have a person called David, David, I want to talk to you something. David, can I ask you some question? David, the moment you keep calling you, like I say, Shabil, 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 Shabil will not run away. His mind is with me now because I'm talking to him. If there are more brothers and sisters, just keep addressing them as a brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, what do you think? Somebody will go to sleep? No, except one person in this hall. I'm not going to name it. An appropriate message for the specific group. Don't talk everything to everybody. Not everybody wants to know everything. Like I said, a layman, a Badu might need a basic information about Islam, whereas a scholarly person might need a very high level information. And when you are talking to a doctor, you give the example according to the doctor's level. When you are talking to a layman, give an example according to them. The moment you start talking to them about the shlokas and the verses and everything, probably you will mess up. Body language is very important. Use an appropriate body language. When I go to do dawah, when I stand like this, brother, do you know about anything about Islam? Do you think you are getting?
Just that you are arrogant.
Yeah. Where is those 7 essentials? Gone. 3 of them gone. Finished. The opponent thinks this guy is trying to come and show me, become my boss. No way. If you see the body language of any of the scholarly people who are good speakers, when you see them, they fold their hands like this. What does it shows? I'm humble. I'm respecting you. I'm talking to you. I want to deliver something. I care you. That's the reason I'm standing with all my humbleness, with all my politeness. What if I talk to you? Stand like this. There are some brothers, initially, when they came into dawah, they stood like this. The microphone is here. We are going out in the labor camps and they are standing like this, and they are talking in their language, telling them that we are here from Discover Islam and standing with this posture. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to deliver a very bad message. So you got to be careful when you are out for the dawah. You got to focus on your body language also. As soon as you detect disinterest in the person who is listening to you, if he is not interested in listening what you are talking to him, change the topic. Just change the topic which is relevant to him. What happens, the moment you get again connected to him, again you can tell him something. As I said, I don't want to mention that person who was one person in this hall. He got connected now to me. He knows and I knows.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you were not the one. All right. That's the statistics. The research shows that 7% of words are the only thing which conveys our meaning. Only 7% of the words. Imagine if I'm standing here and talking to you, all right? You are all hearing my words. How do you think when I was in front of you and now I am behind you? What do you think is happening to you? Are you the same, giving the same focus? I'm asking you the question. Now, and what happens is 30% of the tone which carries the message. 30% of the tone, and fortunately and unfortunately 63% body language. 63% body language. So when you go out and talk to the people, please pay attention to your body language. If you don't focus on body language, probably the results would be the other way around, as I gave you an example. That's the reason. If you really want to become a speaker or a da'i, focus on yourself, what you are doing. Control yourself. Develop one skill by one skill, because soft skills are not soft. Softly you cannot learn them. You have to work hard to get those soft skills inculcated within you. You got to be more focused. And especially people think that I can do table dawah, yeah? I can call up my friend and tell him, Bhaiya, this is this. No, never. Take an appointment, go and meet him. That's the best thing. And you might have all known, do not speak up to or down to. Don't go so down that I come here to talk to you, but you are not of that level also. Don't be arrogant that you raise your voice so much that the person gets irritated. Maintain the middle level, middle class level. So what happens is, when you're talking, if a person is of higher level, he might think the guy is very humble in his speech. The person of a lower level thinks that he's trying to educate me. He takes your words serious. If you go to that level, talk to them in the same tone and the same language, probably it will not work. For that person, scholarly person, probably it will not work, because he will always look at your words, the selection of words. This guy trying to teach me philosophy. I'm not going to learn from him. That's it. The beginning of your talk, you lost. Like this. Who's going to read this? Emphasizing on the words which are underlined. The first line, Muhammad Shabib.
He said he didn't steal the money.
Once again,
I have to emphasize on he.
I'm asking you to emphasize on he, the one word which is underlined here.
He said he didn't steal the money.
What if I say like this? He said he didn't steal the money. What message you are getting? He said he didn't steal the money.
So that he is the he who didn't steal the money.
Yes. You see, the moment somebody can read, brother, your turn. Second line.
He said he didn't steal the money.
The meaning is changing or no? It's changing. Concentrate. The third line, Sister Zahra.
He said he didn't steal the money.
What do you think now? What's happening? It's changing, yeah? Read the last line. Who's going to read the last line?
He said he didn't steal the money. He said he didn't steal the money.
See how the meaning is changing. Here he said he didn't steal the money. But here he said he didn't steal the money, but someone else has did. Here he said he didn't steal the money, but he did some different kind of mischiefs there. Yeah? He said he didn't steal the money, but he steals something else. The same word, all you carry, Just change the tone on the words you want to emphasize, the meaning gets changed. That's the reason it carries 30% of the message which you are delivering to a person. Got to be careful. That's the reason when you talk to the people, talk to them with all your enthusiasm and with all your interest. Don't just mug up something, go deliver, download, upload. No, you are not downloader or uploader. We have YouTubes, we have Googles, we have lot of internet channels. All you need to do is be conscious what you are talking to. What was the methodology of prophets? Can somebody tell me? What was the way the prophets used to deliver the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to their own people? What do you think can be? Actions, mashallah. And? Character. And? MashaAllah, by practicing what they speak. Right? This is the way they used to deliver the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What was that? Certainty about knowledge. What they are going to deliver to the people, they were certain about it. They were very sure of it. That there is only one God, there is only one Creator, nobody else, and none has right to be worshipped except the one who has created. That was the sureness they had. But today if you talk to many of the Muslims, unfortunately, some of them, they say, yeah, Creator is Him, but these people are our intercessors, Zariya. Yeah? No. Don't have that confusion at all. If someone has that, they got to clarify, understand exactly what Islam is, what Tawheed is, what is the message which all the prophets were sent with. Then when you are certain about it, get out and start delivering the knowledge. First you obtain that knowledge and then practice what we preach. If I am telling someone, do not drink alcohol, and the same next camp, neighboring camp I am staying in, and I go in the evening, I open the tonic bottle and drink. What do you think the message is going to be?
Negative.
That's it. I am telling someone, don't use the abusing word. I am doing it. I am asking somebody to avoid something which is harmful and bad, but I am doing it. I am telling don't quarrel, don't talk back, don't do backbiting, but I am doing it. Idai is a demonstrator to the people. So you got to be very conscious. Unconsciously many times we say, you know what, that guy, upon his friend will ask, what happened? No, that guy, he took some money from me and he hasn't returned me so far. And you know how foolish this guy is, only breaking the promises. You speak out the entire encyclopedia of that person to this person. Is that the character of a da'i? Cannot be. That's a reason. This is the best work a Muslim can do, because a da'i is going to live a Muslim life and demonstrate to everyone that I am a Muslim. And when you talk to the people, people will have a different. I was telling Brother Akbar today morning that when I came to Bahrain, I came from a different background, and I was like, I don't even care, take any shit from anybody. When I was coming out from this office, I served them for 10 years. And when I left the office, start from the cleaner, toilet cleaner, up to the general manager, everybody wished me for my success. That was the change which came into me, because I was caring about them up to there. Everybody. So that's the change which comes into you. That's the change will bring into you. And this will not only help you for the akhirah, but also help you for this dunya. Because people will start trusting you. People will think that this man, whatever it happens, he will either keep quiet or he will not tell lies. What more certification you need as a da'i? You know, this is the best gain, this is the best certification you can get out of it as a da'i. Because when you start practicing, you are not only just practicing, but you are inculcating everything, every behavior of your speaks. And then pure intentions. The intentions is not for show off. This is not I'm going to do it for someone else. So Discover Islam may recognize me as the best da'i. No. This is I'm doing it for myself, to please my Creator. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the whole intention we should have. And once we have that, that's it. And if you see the references from the Quran, brother, can we get some more hasanat?
قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
See, the beauty of this verse is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is say to the people that we invite people to the way to the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How? With all insight, and those who follow me, with the complete knowledge, with all basira. I'm inviting you, and all the people who follow me will do the same thing. What if I don't have the knowledge? If I go out and start talking to the people about Islam, I'm unconsciously damaging the image. And if you see the pure intention, this is another verse which we get from Surah Al-An'am, brother.
أولئك الذين هدى الله فبهداه مقتده قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إن هو إلا ذكرى للعالمين.
The prophets told to their people that we are inviting to the way of Allah, and our ajr, our rewards is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not going to ask you for anything. We are just doing it for Allah. We will get everything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the reason. If you have pure intentions, that's it. And practice what we preach is, again, we get a reference from the Quran, brother.
قال يا قوم أرأيتم إن كنت على بينة من ربي ورزقني منه رزقا حسنا وما أريد أن أخالفكم إلى ما أنهاكم عنه إن أريد إلا الإصلاح ما استطعت وما توفيقي إلا بالله عليه توكلت وإليه أنيب.
Again, the same verse wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that when what you don't do, don't teach. Now the main part of it is our invitation is for what? As a da'i, our invitation should be, what should be our invitation? Call to Islam.
To become a Muslim.
Islam's way of life.
Islam way of life.
To become a Muslim.
To become a Muslim. We already have so many Muslim brothers. Why you want to make him another Muslim?
So it is to be like a Muslim.
How it is to be like a Muslim? Yes.
To the truth.
Truth. Okay. I want the answer which is at least close to.
To worship one Allah.
Jazakallah khair.
That's it.
And to do that, what I suggest here is, you see what happens, a father or a mother when takes the kid and kiss them, yeah, that's what is happening here. But I don't mean by this, don't go out and kiss the people. All right, keep it simple, stupid. This is what I mean by KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Meaning, don't talk to the people about the philosophy, about Sharia. Don't talk to the people about the previous nations, the past nations. The message of yours should be concentrated. Just give them a simple message. And what should be that message? The message should be La ilaha illallah. And believe me, 80% of the people will agree to this message. They agree to this message. You ask any person who is a believer, ask them, except some of them, who is the creator? They said, the one above, Upar Wala. Upar Wala is the creator. Then I usually ask them the second question, then why do you worship the Niche Wala, the one which is beneath? They have no answer. They have no answer for it. So, this part is quite simple, but the difficult part is what? People believe that there is only one who is Upar Wala, the creator is only one which is up above in the heavens, and there is nobody else has the power to create such a big universe. Everybody believes it. What is the problem then? What do you think the problem is?
Try to cancel out whatever they believe.
Niche Wala ko, okay. Cancelling out the existing beliefs, okay.
Not bothering about the society.
Sorry, sister?
Not bothering about the society.
Yeah, not bothering about the society, existing culture. What else?
Maybe it's the problem with Prophet Muhammad and what he came with, the religion. It's going to change their religion and what they believe in.
That's the second, yeah, that comes later. But the biggest problem here is many people believe that the only one creator, which is the one above, but when you tell them to worship that one creator alone, do not associate partner with that creator, that's the problem. Believing in the creator is not an issue. They will believe. But to worship him, to follow him is the problem. What does the creator said? Worship me. There are 5 pillars in Islam. Believing, Salah, Zakat, Saum, Hajj. The first, it's okay. We all do that. What about the rest? 4. No. What if I go to masjid, I am an Hindu? What if I go to masjid where I was going every week only or sometimes once in a year to the church? You want me to go 5 times a day? There the problem is. Worshipping him, following the commandments of that creator is the problem. Now, once we need to do is, you have to wipe off all La ilaha. La ilaha, there is no God. There is no God except the one creator. If you establish this, if you can make a person to understand this particular point, and if you make a person to believe in this particular point, then you can go for an argument with him. Then why don't you worship him? Why don't you follow the commandments of him? You already believe that there is only one creator which is up above the heavens, which is in the up above the heavens, but why don't you worship him? They say, no, we worship him. They just say. Then my next question will be, do you celebrate Diwali? Yeah. Do you make a puja for Lakshmi idol? They said yes. Why? Because if we don't do, the whole year of ours will go in the poverty. We will not have enough money if we don't celebrate Deepavali. So this is the belief. Leave that off. So now when you believe that the creator is one, that is the one who has fashioned you and the entire universe, worship him alone. Don't associate partners. This is where the problem is. So when you establish there is only one La ilaha, when you establish La ilaha, then establish illallah. Once you do that, then all you need to do is, when you talk to anybody, they say, yeah, we talk to everybody and this is what exactly we say. But you know what happens? They don't say that all false gods to be removed, which is La ilaha, is very important. Without La ilaha illallah is not enough. If somebody said illallah, Allah is the creator, of course he is the creator. Is there anyone else who is the creator? No one else. So this should be established first. There is no one else who is the creator except illallah. Is there anyone who worth worshipping to? No. Then who should we worship? To the one and the only creator. Is there anyone to whom we should offer our sacrifices to? No one else except the one and only. There is anyone with whom we should be afraid of? No. La ilaha. There is no one else to be afraid of except illallah. The moment you establish this, then you can ask them for. That is what you are doing by taking off all their false gods. Then Almighty God must be introduced with all his attributes, then the name Allah will come in the picture. I'm going to tell you more about that, how you can bring that into the picture. Can I just ask you one question before I go further? What time usually you finish? No, what time you finish the session? 10 o'clock? 10?
10 we finished with the quiz.
10 with the quiz you finish. And how much time you need for the quiz?
I think so, half an hour. 9:30 I have to finish.
All right.
The quiz doesn't take half an hour.
Just take 10 minutes.
Yeah, it takes
Takes
but
about 10 minutes.
Yeah, even 5 minutes later, please bear with me. Can I take that as granted?
yeah.
Because I have not included many things, but still I want to at least touch upon most of the important things. Probably you must be enjoying today's session, I'm sure. Yeah? I'm not listening.
Yes.
Thank you. Then the second thing which we introduce to them is Muhammadur Rasulullah. Unless or until you establish and prove that La ilaha illallah and it is established and accepted by the person, don't touch upon Muhammadur Rasulullah. Because your invitation or my invitation is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are here to connect the people, the servants of Allah, to Allah direct. And then we introduce Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam as a media to reach up to the Rasulullah, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the media. You can take it. And this can be only done after establishing the first part of La ilaha illallah. Unless that is done, we are not going to touch upon that. The reason why I included this slide is because many times it's very important information to pick, because people don't know what the God means to them. They don't know what does mean by ilah. They don't know what is God, what is Sarveshwar means to them. But if you speak out to them and tell them, look guys, I'm going to give you some qualifications needed for a God to be a God. And the qualification should be this. The God should be one and the only. There can't be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or any numbers. There has to be one. If there is more than one, as Allah says in the Quran, there would have been a fight. So it should be one. But the question comes, all right, I believe in one. Hindu says, I believe in Ram. Christian says, we believe in Jesus. Then what? How can we refute? Tell them. He should not be a son or a father. A son or a father can't be a God. If the God, na'uzubillah, is born from the father, he can't be a God, because you and I also born from mother and father. And if he has a children, he can't be a God, because you and me might have children. So the second thing which we establish is God can't be more than one, and God can't be a son or a father. What the third? He don't die. He don't die. The God should be the one who is always alive and he remains alive. He is from the beginning and until the end. That is God. That is the quality of one God. He can't be seen because God is so big, such a big universe when the Creator has created. So how big might He be? Today you have seen the edge of the universe, journey to the edge of universe, which is NASA has released it. You might have seen the duration of the journey and what they have found at the end. You know, do you think it's a job of any person to do that? The moment you say, most of the beliefs are dropped out and then come onto the not human shape. Can God take a human shape to come onto the earth, to guide the people, to show the right path to the people, invite people for the salvation? God, don't take the human shape. His majesty does not suit to become a human. Human is His creation. And such a small creation, there are many big creation than the human being itself. Why He would take the human shape and come and guide the people? That's the reason He sent the messengers. So again, all humans which are considered as God are dropped out here. But the question remains again, then who is He? Who is He? The one and the only is not neither the father nor a son. Neither he dies, neither he can't be seen, or there is none like unto him. He don't take the human shape, but who is He? How can we prove that? We can say from the Quran, He is Allah. Innani an Allah. The name Allah is chosen by Allah Himself. Nobody else has given the name. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling to Moses alayhi salam that it is me, Allah Azza wa Jal. So, these characters can only be with the true Creator, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we go out and talk to the people, just try to put them in this phrase. This is kind of an acid test for anyone to be qualified as a God. If anything which passes all this test, it's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no one else. No one else can pass through this test. And this is the true Creator of the entire universe, and He is Allah. In Him we need to believe, to Him we have to worship, to Him we will be returned, to Him is the day of, He is the owner of the day of judgment. That is what we need to establish. There are some vital knowledge I'm just going to share with you. You might know most of it, and there are something which I have not included in this is about introducing the prophets, which we have talked about, but there are prophets as well as the Quran we need to introduce to them, talk about the miracles of the Quran, why Quran is the more authentic book on the face of the earth, as well as talk to them about the angels, about the day of judgment, about the Jannat and Jahannam, about the heavens and the hell. You need to touch upon them also. And talk to the people, when you talk to them, tell them the Creator is, talk to them about the attributes of Allah, names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the attributes. When you tell them especially the love and mercy, how much He cares, how much He wants us to be successful in this life and the life to come, then only people will get more motivated. And also tell them, if you don't seek the love and mercy of Allah, Allah is also very tough in punishing the people. Allah says in the Quran, warn them and give the glad tidings. Both the things. So you got to do that. And why the Quran is miracle, there is subject in itself which we are going to attend. I believe Jesus in the Bible not being God and not the Son of God. In the Bible Jesus has not ever said that I am God, worship me. So that also you can talk about. You need to have the complete knowledge about the 6 pillars of Iman, the Prophet Muhammad's life, the brief at least you need to know, because many people will have a misconception, and today being media is so cheaply available, people may know that he married to a very young girl, why the Prophet did that, such answers you should be able to answer them. And also some key references from the Quran and other scriptures if you can carry with you, which probably it will be covered in the next, second and the third level of your training, inshallah. The depth of knowledge is according to your ability. The more knowledge you have, probably you can more convincingly answer the people out there. So you need to go give good reasons why they should change their belief. Why they should change their belief? Because it brings better, happier life, this world, relations, and the children's behaviors will be better. Like having Bill Gates as your friend, if I have Bill Gates as my friend, people will look at me, this guy is not ordinary. This guy has a friend, Bill Gates is his friend. When people get to know that I am a Muslim and Allah is my friend or Allah is my supporter, what do you think my status will be? My shoulder goes up. My collars probably goes up too. Because it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my supporter in this life as well as in the life hereafter. So imagine what we have, but what they have. But today we feel very lost in ourselves. In our own eyesight, we don't treat ourselves as something we are. We are Muslim. We believe in the Creator, and Creator is our Lord, and He is listening to all what we ask. True? What do you think? What best honor you want? You can also give some references like rich and famous people are not happy because they get addicted to the drugs and other things, and it's like your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like the broadband or the dial-up connection which you have in your phone, and you are always communicating to your friends or anybody, like with you can communicate to your Lord, the Creator. And good news brought by the prophets. Prophets came with the good news, and the good news was that if you believe in the Creator, follow His commandments, you are successful in this life and the life after the death. And you get the salvation in the hereafter. And there's some small reminders I'll just tell you. Keep checking to see if any or all of the information has been accepted by the listener. Signposting, no points going forward until previous facts are accepted. If you are talking to the person and the person has got still stuck on La ilaha, you are talking about illallah, you talked about Muhammad Rasulullah, you talked about the Quran, the Jannah, Jahannam, still he is not clear about the concept of God itself. Though, keep checking them. Do you have any question at this point? Do you want me to continue telling you something more, something interesting to you? And then, if the listener is losing interest, just leave then. When the person is going, you talk to a person and he's going, okay? He's leaving now. At least you should check 2 things there. Did he understood the concept, the first part of the Shahada, which is La ilaha? Did he understood La ilaha illallah, or the second part of it, accept the concept of God with all his attributes, mentioned the idea of shirk. Did he understood that? At least when you go out and talk to a person, ensure that at least a person understands that the concept of God is at least clear to him. And he understands the problems with shirk, associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are the problems? He should at least understand that. Then we are justifying ourselves to the job which we are going to do. With this, any question? I always tell this, probably I might have told you this before. There could be two reasons if you are not asking the question. Yeah, you understood, right?
Yes.
Either you understood everything what I told you, or you didn't understood anything what I said so far. What do you think I should take it? The first or the second? The first one. But as I said, don't miss to include the Quran, the angels, the previous prophets, and when you are talking to the Christian missionaries, tell them that you love Jesus alayhi salam more than they love Jesus alayhi salam. Tell them this. And you can say, give various reasons. Jesus prohibited not to eat pork. You people eat pork, we Muslim don't. He prohibited not to drink alcohol. You drink, we don't. He prohibited that women should not go uncovered head. Your women goes out without covering their head, but our women cover them with hijab. You can give various reasons. Jesus dressed like Muslim. Jesus had a beard. You don't, we have. But you have to keep beard to tell that. All right. Any question you want to ask me? If I can, I will. Otherwise, thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khairan. We'll take a break and then go for the quiz, or we continue with the quiz and then take a break at last. What is your opinion? Continue and then we break it. Jazakumullahu khairan. With this, we conclude today's session. Subhanallahi wa bihamdi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. واشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.